Welcome. In this session, we are going to understand how ProcessApriori.java file works. We have created this class file in our package mining tool. Then we have imported some classes and packages in order to use classes like MapReduce base, interfaces like mapper and reducer from or.apache.hadoop package. Now what next we did, we have imported immutable sorted map as well in order to process confidence values. This class we are using from a library provided from Google, and name of the package is com.google.common collections, and within that collections we have an immutable sorted map class. Now we have created, actually the program gets started from the bottom. Let's just scroll back to the bottom so that we can understand. First of all, we have a main method which receives some string arguments. Now within this, what we are doing is we are using a job configuration class. This class job configuration is available in the library org.apache.hadoop.mapreduce. We have imported this package, and within this package we have a class known as jobconf, which creates a job configuration for us. A job basically is execution of your algorithm over an input data set and collection of the output data set. Now within this process configuration or job configuration, we have set the job name as market basket analysis. We have set map output key, we have set map output value. Then we have specified output key and output value. Then we have specified the mapper class in which we are going to perform map process. We have a combiner class which is going to take values from the mapper and give to the reduce. Then we have a reducer class wherein we are going to shuffle, sort and reduce the output. And finally we are going to specify the input format of the data and output format of the data. So in the arguments we have specified all the name of the classes, the input output format. Now once we are done with this, now we have specified file input format. Within this we have set input path to read the input file from the console. Using PHP programming language, we are going to specify the input path. This input file would be the file which have been uploaded or have been downloaded from the URL, or it could be an existing file on our file system. We are going to set output path from the class file output format, and we have to specify the job configuration, and we are going to specify this output path wherein the output of big data processing will be created. Now finally, using this run job method, which is a static method defined in your job client class, we are going to run the job configuration. As soon as the job configuration runs, the first thing we have to do is we have to go to the mapper class and we have to process the mapping part. So in order to do that, we can go to the emapper class. As soon as we click here, we are going to come to our process a priori A, which is our main class, and within this process a priori class we have created a nested class which is known as emapper. This emapper is a child class and it extends MapReduce base class. This is the parent class which lets you perform mapping and reducing, and we have implemented an interface, and this interface is known as a mapper interface, which consumes 4 values. The first value is a key value, the second is a value, the third is the output key, and fourth is the output value. So what it basically does, this mapper class takes in the input key value format and the output key value format. Now within this, what we have is we have a map function. Within this map function, first of all we take the URL of the input file which we want to read, and this is a long writable file. Then within this, the second parameter is the line which we want to read from the input file. This is considered as the value. Then what we have is we have specified the output format of the map process. In this we have to specify the key type of the output and the value type of the output. Once we have specified the key value, then finally we have a reporter as well. This reporter is used to send progress information of the mapping process to your system. Once we have got the reporting information and the map process starts, then what next we have is, first of all, we are going to read the line from our file. The file is available in argument 0. From this line, we are going to convert it into string and then we are going to split that with tab spaces. After splitting it into tab spaces, this split is going to return you an string array result type. So we are going to store the information in a string array, and the name of the array will be items. Then we'll execute a for each loop. Within this loop, we are going to get all the items into this item variable. Then finally what we are going to do, we have created a singletons. This singletons is a map, and let me show you what it actually is. This singleton at the top is a hash map which has a key of string type, and it consumes the variables, and this is name of the key and the count of that particular key. So in the hash map, what we are going to store, we are going to store name of the product and the count of the product, how many times it is available in each individual row. So now what next we are going to do is, we are going to check the singletons. We are going to check if the singletons contains the current item which we are reading. In case if it contains the item, we are going to read the item count from the singletons. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll specify the item as the key, and we are going to get the count, and we are going to store the count in the count variable. In case if the item does not exist, we are going to specify 0, and we are going to increment the value of that count, and we are going to update the singletons. So using this for each process, what we are going to get is, we are going to get count of every individual item in the data set provided. Now in the second step, what we'll do, now this time we are going to capture the pairs. So we are going to read the input, we are going to split the input using tab spaces, and we are going to store that into items A array. Then for each items available in the items A array, we are going to keep every individual item into item 1. Now with this item 1, then we are going to again read this items A, and we are going to put that item into item 2. Now we are going to compare item 1 and item 2, whether both of the items have been purchased in one single cart or not. And to perform the comparisons, what we'll do, first of all, we are going to get the count of the item from the singletons array or the singletons hash map, and we are going to check if the count of the items is greater than 100, which means, let's say in the data set of 7,000 elements, the item which we are identifying should be purchased more than 100 times. So that is the support for item number 1. In the same way, we are going to calculate that for item number 2. That item number 2 should also have been purchased more than 100 times in the data set provided. And then we are going to match whether both of the items are not same. If this condition is true, then what we are going to do, we are going to create a new simple entry, and this simple entry, what it does, it contains the information of string type. So this is an entry class. This entry class is available within map, and using this entry class, we are going to create a pair of the elements. So first element will be a string element, second element will also be a string element. So I'm going to store item 1 and item 2 within the pair. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to insert this pair into a pairs hash map. So what we actually did, we have created a pairs hash map at the top as well. So this pair hash map contains the entry of the pair, that which particular X product is purchased with the Y product, and the number of counts, how many times this particular pair has been purchased. So we are going to match it. Now what next we have is, we'll come back to the pairs. In the pairs, we are going to check whether such a pair exists or not. In case if such a pair exists, so this is the conditional statement. So if this is true and the current pair which we are comparing does exist in the pairs hash map, then we are going to get the count, and we are going to set that into pair count, and we are going to update the pair count. Otherwise, we are going to insert 0 in the pair count, we are going to increment the pair count by 1, and we'll proceed with this for each loop. So now at the moment, what we have is, we have the single element available and the count, how many times it has been bought, is available. Then we have the pairs available of the products which have been bought at the same time in one single cart, and the count of these pairs is also available. Now once we have got the data set read, now we are going to check the frequent pairs. In order to do this, what we will do, using new keyword, I'm going to create an array list, and this array list will contain the entry elements, and this entry is considered as a pair in which string 1 refers to item 1 and string 2 refers to item 2. So then we have created a list of entry which is of string type, and we are going to call this array list as frequent pairs. Now what we'll do, we are going to read all the key set from the pairs, which means I want to identify all the individual elements in the pairs which have been bought with some other elements, and we are going to put that into K. Now what we'll do, for each element in the pairs.key set, we are going to check whether that pair of that particular entry has support more than 100, which means we have purchased that product more than 100 times. Then we are going to add that into frequent pairs array list. So we have already specified the support at the top. As soon as we click here, you can go to the support section at the top and you can see that the support is 100. So we are identifying every individual item which is purchased more than 100 times. Then we are identifying pairs which have been purchased more than 100 times, and we are putting them into a frequent pairs array. Once we have got the frequent pairs available, now what we'll do, we are going to compute the confidence. To compute the confidence, we are creating and using a data structure hash map. Within this hash map, first of all, we are going to get the entry, that will be the double information which will contain the confidence, and in the second part we'll have the pair. So we are going to store the pair information within the confidence. Now what next we'll do, for every individual frequent pair in the frequent pair list, we are going to read every pair out. Then from the pair we are going to get the key. So for every individual element from the frequent pairs in this K, we are going to get the key and we are going to store that into I1. Then we are going to get the value and we are going to store that into I2. Now what we are going to do, we are going to divide the K value with the singleton's value. So we are going to check the number of pairs for that particular set and the number of items it has been purchased in the single time, and using this we are going to get the confidence 1 and we are going to get the confidence 2 for the pairs as well. So for item 1 and for item 2 we are just comparing the specific elements and their confidences. Then we are going to put the confidence value into our variable conf, and this conf is a map which is of double type, in which double is the confidence and entry will be your pair. So once we have had all the confidence, now we are going to identify top confidence. So we are going to use an immutable sorted map. What we'll do, we are going to copy all the confidence value into this immutable sorted map using this copy of command, and automatically these confidences will be sorted within the map. So now what we are going to do, we are going to assert and verify. We are going to check the confidence size and we are going to measure that confidence size into 2 is equal to top confidence dot size, and we are going to assert that. So it is clear that we have received the top confidence from this immutable sorted map. So once we have got information from this immutable sorted map and we have asserted this information, now we are going to print the information out and we are going to map these values and we are going to give this output to the reducer. So now what we'll do, so here we are going to read the key set from the top confidence, we are going to get the double value for the confidence and we are going to get the pair, and then from that pair we are going to create a new simple entry from the kth value. So we are going to get the key and get the value and we are going to put that into pair. Then we are going to check whether that pair is available, and if that pair is available, then we are going to send that pair information to the collector. So this collector will collect the information about our key, about our value and the top confidence of that pair, and this argument 2 will be collected and will be given to the reducer. So now here comes the part of the reducer. Reducer is going to shuffle, sort and reduce the output in one go. So once this process is done, now what we'll do, again we are going to get the key, we are going to get the iterative values line by line, then we are going to have an output collector which is going to contain a key for the output and value for the output, and finally we'll have the reporter which is going to represent the report progress of the particular process to our system. Once we are done with this, we are going to collect the output. Using this output collector, we are going to take the name and we are going to give the values of the frequent pairs, and finally these frequent pair values will be received and will be printed into our output file, and the output file has been specified using set output path. So once we are done with this, finally we are going to receive the result in our part 00000000 file, and we are going to read that through PHP and we are going to display that on our interface. So this is how we are taking MapReduce in Java, and we are processing MapReducing on the input set, and finally after processing, after mapping, after sorting, shuffling, we are reducing the output, and finally we are delivering the output, which is the rules which have been identified for market basket analysis. And using this we can quickly predict what all items has been purchased with Y items and what is the confidence of that particular prediction. Thank you for watching.